Hey, this is Matt once again with a bet in the video. This is a paid request, this time for Eric. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, this is a... he wanted me to talk about the first 3 episodes of Superman the Animated Series, which I remember seeing bits and pieces back in the day and enjoying them, but I didn't watch the full show. And I believe this is some of the same people that made Batman the animated series. For what I understand, when that show was pretty much initially done or close to it, there was talks of what to do next, and someone came up with, hey, well, why don't you guys do Superman? Okay, it seemed a bit different, a bit brighter, a bit not quite, a bit to stretch their muscles in terms of creativity, writing, animation, and so forth. I think there's talks of maybe trying to do it like the Fleischer cartoons, but that didn't work out, so they went with this. I still love the Fleischer Superman cartoons from the 40s, but like these 3 episodes, they did a nice job establishing who Superman was, his character. I thought it was nicely voiced by Tim Daly, who's known for the TV show Wings. He was in the Stephen King film Storm of the Century, among other ones. Dana Delaney played Lois Lane. Clancy Brown voiced Lex Luthor. Christopher McDonald, Shooter McGavin, Happy Gilmore, he voices Jor-El, the father. And of these 3 parts, which actually they did put these 3 together as a movie called Superman the Last Son of Krypton. So you could see all 3 episodes without the opening ending credits to take you out of it. And it's like a little over an hour. And pretty much the first episode is to set up Krypton, and there's something going on, and the Brainiac, the computer of Krypton, is lying because he wants to save his own skin, because, well, you take all my time to find a way to save you, but I'm going to save myself. I mean, I hold all the memories and all the history of Krypton. And then at this, like, see you losers. That's pretty much what he did. What an ass. But like, it was nice to see the elements of Krypton. I like the father and son moments. It showed how loving of a father this guy was, as well as the mother. Interesting that they had like a dog and looked like a regular dog. I guess I would just assume with Krypton it'd be like a little bit more creative with the pet. I'm like, okay, it just looks like a dog. Okay. There's a bit of action there because Brainiac is hiding information. People don't believe Jor-El, which is their fatal mistake. And he's going to try to prove it. He gets framed because Brainiac lies about him, so you got some chase sequences and so on and so forth. Jor-El had a plan of taking everybody to the Phantom Zone, so it'd be a bit safe, and then when the time comes, get out of it. Which, I mean, at least you'd be alive, and then eventually find a way to get out of it. But nope, people said he was crazy. I don't know if so. Would that mean, would there have been time for at least the parents to go into the Phantom Zone? Because I don't know in the show how the Phantom Zone works. Like when the parents send the kid up, of course, like Jesus, to the water here to the sky. How come they don't go into the Phantom Zone? If that was his plan to go into the Phantom Zone, or did they need Brainiac for that? I'm trying to remember if they needed Brainiac for that. I guess maybe they needed the ship as well. Maybe that was the point, is they needed the ship. But if everybody else was going in the Phantom Zone, they could go there and maybe find a way to get out. But I guess not. But it was a decent enough job establishing. My favorite version of Krypton will always be Superman the movie, with the ice castle, the ice crystal type of motif, the great music by John Williams. But here you also feel sorry for all the people getting killed, as much as you can show on the cartoon. And they send Kal-El off, and massive explosions along Krypton, and the baby's on his way. And that's where you get to episode 2, where the Kents find it. And I do like Pa Kent. It could be Sputnik baby, or a NASA baby. NASA baby, maybe it's one of our own. I thought that was kind of funny. But Ma Kent is very adamant to keep in the kid. Now, I guess because there's only so much running time, they do skip a lot of sections of his growing up. Like, as soon as that opening occurs, when they find the baby, it cuts to boom, he's a teenager, and he's trying to talk to Lana Lane about, he keeps hearing things, he keeps even seeing things. He's like, he can even see through the walls. I thought some of the humor was actually surprisingly, I wouldn't say blue, but I was a bit surprised, like Lana Lane saying, "So Clark, how many times did you peek in the girls' locker room?" with his x-ray eyes. And he's like, "Lana," I thought, yeah, that was, I don't know, something about that was surprising. Because, I mean, you go in a girls' locker room, you don't look there, you don't find, one or two, or two and one for a three, or however your preference is. Stinking pink operation. I mean, what else would it be? Girls' locker room. So I was a bit surprised with that, but that was kind of funny though. And a little bit of a strength, a little bit of heat vision. I know in this show they did tone down some of his powers, so he's not that, he's strong, but they had to make a limit. Bullets deflect him, but at the same time, heavy artillery, he deflects as well, but it does hurt him, which is understandable because if he's invincible the whole time, other than kryptonite, then it might seem a bit tiresome or old, or you don't really feel any danger for Superman. Although, to be fair, there's plenty of comics that have worked other ways around it. His friends, his family, other people, magic. Because from what I understand, Superman's not good with magic, at least in the comics. I don't know if they did that in the show. But he saves a couple, he saves a baby, he's told about his background. He's shown this hologram of his parents. He's like, "No, I'm not a freak." Shows his enjoyment of flight. And then cuts, boom, straight to the Daily Planet. So yeah, this is one of those times that Pa Kent did not die. He died in Superman the movie, he died in Man of Steel, but he did not die here. Because he didn't die in the comics either for a long, long, long time. So I'm glad they didn't kill him off. And by then, Superman apparently has done stuff because there's a kid talking about a blue-wearing guardian angel. I thought Dana Delaney definitely had a bit of a spunk to her as Lois. Later on in, episode 3, she mentions, "Man, Clark, you're the second person to get under his skin." "Well, who's the first?" "I did. After I dumped him." Because I guess Lois had gone out with Lex Luthor and then dumped his ass. So I did like that line delivery. Or when Lois sees Superman, she says "nice S." I didn't think she said that at first. I thought she said "nice ass," but she said "nice S." I'm like, did she say a nice ass? Oh, nice S. Okay. I didn't know. So again, part 1 is Krypton to the baby going away. Second part is the landing with the tents to, boom, he's at Daily Planet, Daily Bugle, Spider-Man, Daily Planet, and then Superman's got to go into action because Lex Luthor has this weapon, this exo-suit, and bad guys are stealing it, so Superman goes into action. And in the third episode, he's trying to stop them. They shoot an airplane. He grabs it. I'm sitting there going, does Superman Returns steal from this show? Because again, one of the first big action set pieces for Superman is saving an airplane. Only Lois isn't in this one. But I'm okay. I do like that Malcolm McDowell from Clockwork Orange. He's one of the villains trying to steal the equipment. I also like a piece where he's trying to get the back of the airplane, but accidentally rips off, and he's like, "Good one, Clark." So I like that, Superman, he's not just a bland Boy Scout. He has a little bit of self-effacing humor, for learning how to talk. And I also like that they showed he's actually a decent reporter. Like, especially in the third part of this, there's many times where they show he's finding out clues as a reporter, which makes sense because he wouldn't get that job if he was a dumb guy. I mean, a lot of times with Superman, they kind of portray him as if he's dumb, but he's never been dumb. Again, he's very smart. He's a reporter for a newspaper, at least in this time period. You got to be a bit smart for that. So I like that he's doing the investigation. Kind of like Batman would do his investigation. So I'm. It's nice to implement a little bit of that into it. Pretty much finds out where Lois is at, who's with the bad guys, who's on a ship. Superman gets there, saves the day, goes in a one-on-one fight with the exosuit. Which is funny because Superman gets like blown up and thrown to a building. The building crashes on him and just makes him even more mad. I understand not going all out in the fight because this is the first chunk of episodes. You gotta have room to go. So there's a part of me that wanted to see him more, but again, you're starting off a little bit with baby steps. Don't put everything in the kitchen sink in here, and then go, well, where else is there to go? But it does show that he can take a lot of damage and rips off the arms and legs of the robot, the exosuit thing, which is nice. Like, and punches certain bits off. Oh, Superman! See, he's a Superman that punch wasn't first seen in Man of Steel. I mean, hell, that was done in some of the Christopher Reeve movies. And I also like Clancy Brown. Sorry, I was trying to think of his name, but yeah, Clancy Brown's a lot of fun as Lex Luthor. He's a good voice. I think Michael Ironside appears later on as, I want to say, Darkseid? Or is it Darkseid? Darkseid? I didn't follow much of Superman comics, to be fair. I knew a bit about them. I mainly know the death and return of Superman, which I think a lot of people know Superman for that, but I know at one point he was fighting against Muhammad Ali, but there's a lot. You could throw a rock and hit someone who knows more about Superman than me. I grew up more with the movies, the Christopher Reeve movies. I like the first three, yes, including the third one. Superman Returns I could watch, but at the same time, it's like, Kevin Spacey, Bryan Singer. It's a lot like the first movie. There's a lot of issues with that film. That's a film I don't mind, but I can't defend either. And I was never a fan of Man of Steel or Zack Snyder's DC universe. That's just my opinion. But this show seems like it's respecting the character. The animation definitely seems more vibrant, which makes sense from Superman compared to Batman. A little bit different, animation style. Which I think they had done one other Batman season. Was like the new Batman Adventures or something. Where you had the younger Robin and you had, was it Nightwing and Batgirl. I think that animation was changed to fit with this show. I guess just that was on the last bits and this is beginning, so. And there was one called like the new Superman Batman Adventures and team ups and so on and so forth. I'll mention this because rest in peace Kevin Conroy voiced Batman, but there is a fun video on YouTube with Tim Daly and Kevin Conroy. I think it's Tim Daly's YouTube channel. And it's him and Kevin Conroy kind of doing a Batman v Superman, but it's the two of them. It's a fun video if you can find on YouTube. But overall, yes, this was entertaining. It was an easy watch. like I said, I wish we could have seen a bit more in the fight at the end, but I did not wanting to overload it. It would have been nice to see a bit more of the transition from baby to teen or from teen to the Daily Planet. But again, there's only so much running time you have. But at least it was taken 3 parts. At least it wasn't just 20 minutes from baby, Bugle, baby, Kansas, and then Superman. At least they did try to take as much time as they could with the show. So that was nice. I would like to see maybe a bit more crazy creativity with Krypton. I mean, other than this yellow jelly mucus that's in the inside of this creature that's chasing Jor-El at the beginning of the first episode. But I didn't really see a lot of creativity with the world or the creatures and or whatever flora or fauna are in there. I would like to have seen a bit more in that. But yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like a fun show. Like I said, I remember vague parts of it, but nothing to knock on wood concrete. But overall, yeah, it was fun. I liked it. It was fun. And from what I understand from people, it's definitely one of the better iterations of Superman. So, which is nice. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later.